And we'd have so much fun. But then we'd put a rock by the fire in the fire, and then we'd take that hot rock, wrap it in burlap, and put it at the bottom of our sleeping bag so our feet would be warm while we're sleeping, and then our sleeping bag would have like a little burn hole. I don't know who was in charge of that. And we'd go to flagpole in the morning, and then we'd do all our stuff. And testimony meeting was so special. That was the best. One time we had a sunrise testimony meeting with Brother George Pace's religion class in the mountains. That was so neat. Yeah, BYU. And it was kind of lonely being on the Salt Lake campus for nursing school because you wouldn't see all your provo things. And the BYU devotional, they'd get a little portable radio and plug it in. And you'd be sitting there listening to the radio for the devotional on Tuesdays. And it's just like, and I was one of the only ones that would listen. Everyone else would go do their homework. But in my patriarchal blessing, it said, you're among the church leaders and listen to them and take their advice. And so I thought, hey, I'm it. And because I got my patriarchal blessing when I was at BYU, so it mentioned that it was a great school of higher learning and that the prophet speaks to you regularly and the general authorities, and listen to what they say and do as much as you can that they say. So I always listened to devotionals. And they wouldn't make us do nursing programs. They'd bring out that radio, and it was available. But nursing school was challenging because I never wanted really to be a nurse. I just, like my whole life, I just thought, well, declare your major. What jobs are available? And physiology was interesting, and I have a couple of cousins that were nurses. So I thought, fine, I'll be a nurse. My room, one time, my bedroom was all black and white. I put this little piece of wood across the center of the wall, and I hammered like little black and white pictures along this piece of wood, and then tried to make it all artistic and cute. But I was never much of an artist. I just do like little crafts sometimes, like do decoupage or, like three-dimensional, that ladybug little picture that Grandma found in her house. And I'd string beads. We would go digging up Indian beads in the Indian graveyards in Sacramento, California. And we'd scrub them and we'd string them and wear Indian beads. And yes, we listened to the Beatles all day long and the Bee Gees. And Dad was more for the Beach Boys. I was more for the Bee Gees. And I saw the Bee Gees in concert. And all my older brothers and sisters took me to rock and roll concerts from an early age because I was 8 years old when I saw the Beatles in concert in San Francisco. But I was too young to go to the Rolling Stones.
Did you
almost saw the Jackson 5. I started piano lessons in 3rd grade, and then I stopped them in 9th grade because that's when my dad moved out and all my siblings left, and I was had to take a week off school because I had a little nervous breakdown for a week when my dad left. And I thought, oh, no, my mom and dad are not going to be married forever. This is changing my life. I think I'll have a little nervous breakdown and take a week off school. Raising my kids. I love reading library books with them and cuddling with them with blankets and pillows on the floor. It was so sweet. And we would always... I'd like shut the curtains so it would look like, nope, not time to play, time to take a nap. And then we'd read books, and it was so sweet. You guys were so sweet. And I loved taking you in the stroller because I was always walking. And we liked going to the zoo. We always seemed to have a zoo pass, like in Oklahoma or in Kentucky. We got a zoo pass. And so we'd go to the zoo a lot and look at the animals. And I don't know why I'm crying. I just loved being your mom, and I still do love being your mom. Because I would just love to have you kids around. And then when when Robbie started to be the first teenager, it was kind of awkward to have the teenagers over, but then you get used to it with the first kid, and then you just love the teenage kids. So all stages, when you're little babies, and just so sweet, and you just want them to be little for longer, and then they just grow up. Like when Robbie, with his first child, is thinking, why can't Jacob just stay little for longer? He just keeps growing. They're so cute when they're little. And I loved it when you would see the kids play together nicely, because it just makes your heart so happy when the brothers and sisters play nicely. So sad when they fight, but that's just part of it.
Would me and Natalie play nicely?
Yeah, she would be your mother sometimes, and she'd help you do things, and she'd probably read to you, and she'd hold you, and you'd play with Snowball, the cat, and you'd have little friends over, and so there was always love, hate, love, because you'd try and copy Natalie, and she wouldn't want you to, or you'd take her things and she'd want them, and then Robbie and Doug would love to play together, and then they'd love to get on each other's nerves too. Oh no. And I used to love to once in a while we'd go on a little drive, like we went from Oklahoma all the way drove to California, and I had all you kids in the van, and we packed up and we